Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Cab Out Home, another episode. You're hanging out with me, Miss Gabby. I'm really excited for today's project because we can create this little knick-knack to, leave some positive messages around for ourselves or to give as gifts, and we're making little comfort boxes. And you don't need much, so I'm very excited, so let's just hop right in and we're going to get started. Huge shout out to General Motors for being our sponsor. They're giving us like all this awesome power to give out free art tutorials all summer long, so you should definitely be checking out our entire archive as well of what we have. So let me just get situated here and we'll get started. So check out our cool little comfort boxes. So they're a little box that we're going to make that have a nice little message inside with some doodles and some cute paper. So it's nice little affirmations and just positive vibes and words that we can build for ourselves or as a gift. So I'll put those up right there. And let me get started and tell you what you need today. So we're going to be using cardboard today. So I have a nice little sheet. Very small here already, just from like some boxes. I do have some like white paper, and if you have any other color construction paper, that works too, and some maybe like decorative paper for like a background. You see that I have some fun little stuff there. We'll need a pencil and some scissors, a hot glue gun with some extra glue sticks. If you need an adult to help you with this, don't hesitate to ask, because this can get very hot. But mine's plugged in and ready to go. And then just some markers. I have some extra markers and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and start measuring out. And if you have a ruler, that's really great too. Or if you have something to work on, like I have this awesome cutting board. That is like the self-healing mat. That's awesome. So okay, so we're gonna get started. So first off, we're gonna make the back of our box, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna measure it to be like 2 by 3.5. I believe that's how big this one is. So I'm gonna just take my ruler here. Yep. So 2 by 3.5. Yep. So I'm gonna just do this. Let's measure this side. So this side of my cardboard is already 3.5 inches. So I'm just gonna, that's great for us for the one side. So I'm just gonna make a measurement of 2. So I'm gonna take my ruler and measure 2 here on the top and the bottom. Just so I'm gonna be cutting like a nice straight line for us. And if you have maybe like an X-Acto knife too, that will help, but I have these scissors and I'm gonna just slowly cut it all the way across. So now what I want to do is we want to make our sides of our box. So I only made these like 1 inch, 1 inches like wide. So that's what we can do. Just make some 1 inch marks. So I'm going to just take this and 1 inch here. And we're going to need 4. So I'm going to go ahead and just make 4 lines across. 4. So then we're having our 1 inch boxes. Perfect. And I'm making a line on the bottom and the top just because I want to make sure that we're having a straight line and it's going to be even. So I'm just cutting it right off. So sometimes cardboard can be super hard to cut. So, if you have an adult to help you, amazing. You can ask like a parent or guardian to help you, or a sister or a brother or any kind of family member that's around. Okay, perfect. I'm going to put my extra cardboard away, my scissors aside. So we have what we need to complete our box. So what I want to start now is I'm going to build my my nice little message, and I'm thinking about maybe like a design that we can do. Maybe you can give it as a gift or something, but I like these to this one I made for myself, so I'm going to make another one for myself. So I'm going to just put these aside. And I'm going to go ahead and take my nice decorative paper, and maybe I'll take a little bit of white paper too, maybe cut a little bit. But what I really like to do here is I'm going to take my, background piece, and what I want to do is just, I'm just going to trace it so then I know what size that I need that I'll be working with. So I'm going to do the same with my decorative paper, just so I know what and how big the size is. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that, because I think I'm going to make a nice little fun design, in the background of it. So it's going to be a little different than my example pieces, because my example pieces are just like solid colors. I put the decorative paper on each side of the wall of my box, but this one I just used that fun one there. So going ahead and just cutting this up. And putting it out to the side. So I think it might be nice maybe to kind of have, maybe I'm going to create like a nice hump there, and then here, you know, I think I kind of want it to be a little smaller there, so I'm going to do that. So I like this comfort box. It's really fun because what we're going to be doing is making it kind of 3D and like jump out at you. So it's nice because nothing is entirely flat. So if you see that, I added some nice lift to each piece of you know, artwork that I have inside. I'm putting my scraps right off to the side, just because we are going to be just keeping our desk area clean. That's what I like to do. So I'm just going to erase any pencil marks that you can see on there. And so next, I'm going to assemble my background. Start off already. So I'm going to save this piece too, because maybe I'll use some of it. But I'm just going to take some extra cardboard pieces and I'm going to just cut them up a little tiny, because what we're going to do is we're going to stack our pieces up together. Maybe I'll do one there and maybe I'll do two there, just to give some nice depth. So I'm just cutting them into smaller pieces. So here, put our extras aside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some hot glue and put it there, and I'm going to attach my white background to the cardboard piece here. So I'm going to adhere it really nice and well right in the middle. I'm going to do the same for these cardboard pieces. I'm going to stack them on top of one another, so it's giving us a nice little extra height to this piece. Add some here and attach it here. There we go. So it's nice because I'm kind of creating maybe like a hilly look to our, so I'm just gonna add them here and see what that looks like. Ooh, I like how that's starting to look. So I don't mind that cardboard background so much. I really like it. Gives it some nice, like a nice color scheme, especially with like the blue paisleyness, and then just like a nice little pop of white. So I'm just kind of layering on top here. So with hot glue, if you ever worked with it before, we get these crazy like spider web looking things, and they're okay because they're not going to stick around. We can pull them off once everything dries. So there's the beginning of our perfect background. So next I'm going to take some extra white paper. And you know, like I said, you want it to be kind of along the same size, just so we know we're working like on the template of like the size of our background. So, you know, what I want to do is I want to create a nice message. So I'm just going to sketch out. So maybe I'm going to just kind of, maybe the affirmation I want, or just like the positive message, just say like, you got this. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to, I think I want to draw out like a face, maybe just like it's me telling myself that. So I'm just going to do like a fun sketch of my face. So I'm going to just draw it out. And I'm not trying to be perfect or anything here, but you know, here's my hair maybe. Maybe I'll create my like eyes. Maybe like a funny little nose. And that's what's awesome about it, is like it's not going to be perfect. Which I kind of like. It gives it that nice little, like my own vibe of kind of work. So I'm going to grab a black marker to start outlining, you know, maybe I'll give myself a different kind of eye. Maybe I'll just erase the eyes. I don't want to look that creepy. But maybe I'll just give myself a nice eye, like kind of more like a peaceful eye. Kind of give myself a small little smirk. And then outline here. Then maybe make some details in my hair. So you see that it is hair. So fun little doodle. It's nothing serious, but it does represent myself, which I kind of really like. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just erase the pencil marks, holding on to it so my paper doesn't fly away. I am working a little quick for the sake of the video. So, erase this, perfect, erase it a little better. Really fun. And I think I want to maybe outline, maybe make some like thicker lines here. So I'm grabbing a thicker marker. I'm just making it a little bit thicker. Perfect. Just maybe add like a little pop of color. Maybe I'll make my lips a little bit red. There. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out my face. And it's okay that it's not going to be perfect. I kind of like this disheveled, you know, look. It's like, you know, my art. I like this kind of doodle, like this assemblage look of, you know, I think that's going to look really cool there. So next I'm going to just write, like, you got this, right? I'm going to maybe write it in all caps. You got this. Oops. And I kind of like it if it's in a speech bubble. So make it look like I'm actually saying it. And that will be really cool up there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this part out. So you don't have to make a speech bubble. You don't have to make a person. That's, you know, up to you. You can make like animals or like a little cityscape like I did. Maybe some plants. Maybe some nice nature stuff. So there. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to take my scraps and just throw them away or put them off to the side to throw away later. So now we can decide, you know, where and what and how we're going to put everything. So I'm going to just take some extra cardboard. And I do want to say that my words should be quite high just because I don't want them to fall back into the background so much. So I'm just cutting up these pieces really tiny, making them so I can stack them up. Plus I'm making them tiny enough to hide behind my speech bubble, just so they're not going to be too much. So I'm going to just take and start to stack. So I'm using my hot glue and starting to stack them up a little bit. And since we're going to work in small, you want to work a little, you know, a little safe, just because we don't want to burn ourselves or anything like that. And I'm going to make sure they're just kind of staying in line. Oh. See, we got these little spider webs coming off, so we want to make sure that, you know, we're not losing our project or anything. And I'm just gonna add one more, I think, and it might be all right. So my last dot there, here, and then I can add my speech bubble. So just working really small. Be careful with the hot glue. And voila. So we have that. So that will go there. I think it's cool. And we can decide to how like my face will be. And we can just put it right on top of here. So I think I'll just use maybe 2 pieces of cardboard to give it just a little bit of height, a little separation from the background. So I'm gonna just add that here and go like that, and then put a little bit of glue for my face. Perf. So I can go ahead and glue this part down now. There's that. And oops, there's all these little glue gun spider webs. And so I will just add a little bit of glue and put it right there on top and let it dry. So what's nice about hot glue is we don't need that much dry time. So you see I assembled this and it's all staying relatively within my background. So now we can work on completing our box by gluing on the sides. So this is your choice if you want to decorate the inside or the outside of your box. So I'm just going to go ahead, and these are already cut to size. We already did that beforehand. And the only one is like the tops and the bottom, which we'll cut in just a second. So you see all these little hot glue frillies. So I'm just going to take my glue gun, add that to the side there, and bring this right up to the side. And make sure it's lined up to the back, but there we go. And you can see that nothing is going above my side, so it's all going to be nicely within the box. So I'm adding just some pressure, just so it's staying adhered to the side. So now we can work on this one. So I'm adding a nice layer of hot glue. And putting that to the side. Voila. Adding some pressure so it's going to be adhered. So there's our enclosed sides for that. So now we just have to finish the top and the bottom. So it's a nice little handheld, cute little box. So you can take that or you can measure it. What I like to do is I just like to make a line right up the side to measure it and see the side, and then I'll just take it to my other piece here and cut the same. So we'll have our two pieces to be able to adhere to the top and the bottom. So what I can do is I'll just put a nice layer of glue. Perfect. And take our piece and adhere it right there. And then we'll flip to this side. Put a nice little layer of glue. And voila. There we have it. Our cute little comfort box. That's a nice little positive affirmation for things like if we are having a hard day or anything like that. And I think it's a nice little collection that you can build and even give off and give away as little gifts and things like that. So you can let it dry and then you can continue making more, right? So you see that I tried some different things out to be able to kind of test everything out and decide what I really liked and wanted. So you see too that they're all like little 3D boxes too that have nice little words. So these are great to spread some joy and to just give some nice like light to your day or someone else's day and never to forget. So I hope you followed along. You know, definitely if you make anything, please send it to us, post it in the comments or emails, post it in the description. You know, and check out our whole other archive. You know, again, thanks to General Motors. Without them, this all is not possible this summer. So thanks for hanging out with me and stay tuned for tomorrow.